Hey guys, what's up? Alright, now this is something that I've been meaning to talk about, but a lot of things have been happening recently, so this is finally actually have the time to talk about this. Um, so if you don't know, I'm in Texas, and just last Friday there was another shooting, if you will, just up north of where I live, actually, where a student actually shot himself, took his life, um, just in his classroom. Um, so I'm just really just trying to find like the right words just to say right now. I know a lot of pretty much all over the country, or so really the world, there's been so many different shootings, different attacks, and all of this, and a lot of people have been really pushing for, gun control and gun reform, and I personally do not agree with that. I don't think that that is a right choice to make, especially with, looking back in our world's history, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. Um, but I don't think that that is a right choice. I don't think that um, taking our guns away and trying to abolish our Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, um, is wise. Not only is the Second Amendment our right to bear arms, but it's also protecting us and have given us the right to protect ourselves when we feel threatened, even if it's by our own government. And so, again, that's gonna go in what I'm gonna bring up later. And I'm just noticing, like, more and more, like, the shootings that are occurring, they're more in like schools and with um, these children, and whether these shootings are real, fake, whether they're staged or fabricated, that's not that's not what we're talking about right now. So, um, that's my thing is, with all these shootings that are taking place in the schools, I feel like it should be more of an initiative with the parents and the adults to be more involved and push um, not push this ridiculous gun control, gun reform agenda. You need to be more involved in your children's lives. These kids, they are in school for 8 hours a day. They're constantly with each other, and they all have these very huge personalities, and you know one thing that I believe, that we are all created differently. We are all different. There has never been, there never will be, and two people who are exactly the same. And I just believe that we as adults and as parents, we need to be more involved in these children's lives. Um, because again, if shootings are real or fake, that's not important, but for a child to go to such lengths where they feel so threatened that they have to have a gun to protect themselves, there is something wrong. What is going on in the schools? How are they being treated by the students? How are they being treated at home? What's going on with the teachers and administration, that they are not stepping up to really try to keep these things from happening, this bullying down. And again, you know, it's honestly not the teachers and administrators' job to raise our children. It's not their job to babysit. It's not their job to discipline. That is the job of the parents. That is the job of the adults who are over these children when they're not in school. And these parents today are completely self-centered and lazy, and they don't care about these kids, and they want the teachers to raise them, they want the media to raise them, they want these electronic devices to raise them, and they don't want to raise them because they don't want to be bothered. And then you have these kids who they don't have anyone to turn to, they don't have anyone to confide in, and they're ostracized for being different when in fact we're all different, and they don't know what to do, and so that is their last resort, because there's no one for them to turn to. And and it shouldn't be on the teacher's job to raise the children. It shouldn't be, and it's definitely on the media, because the media, see how it is now. Let's be real, the media is not the best babysitter, and we shouldn't be so quick to give these children just electronic devices, these iPhones, these iPads, just so they can be occupied and you won't have to deal with them. If you're grown up to lay down and make a child, then you're grown up to take care of the child. And if you don't want to take care of the child, you shouldn't have had the child in the first place. So, I think that, one, I do think that prayer needs to be implemented back into the schools, like on a regular basis, and not so much as an annual see you at the poll thing. I think that's great, that's amazing, but it needs to be more common, more frequent, more periodic than once a year. Also, like I said, I think these adults, we need to be more attentive, and we need to be more intentional about raising our children and teaching them proper morals and values, and not spoiling them and just giving them everything they want because we don't want to be bothered with them. Because that's another form of abuse, just spoiling your child and giving them everything they want and letting them run you, instead of you actually instilling discipline and morals and values and teaching them how to treat other people the way they would like to be treated. Yeah, you don't want to do that, but you want to give them these iPhones, these iPads, you want to give them the best of the best electronic devices, you want to give them this and that, but you don't want to teach them how to be a good moral person and how to treat other people despite their differences. And it just really bothers me. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, how could you say blah, blah, blah? Because I'm still a person in this world who has grown up in the public school system, and I know what it's like to be ostracized for being different. So, and I think that, we as parents and adults, we need to get back to that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. We need to be there, so we need to get back to that. So we, as parents, maybe we need to make surprise visits to our kids' school and see how they're doing, see how they're treating other people, see how they're doing in their classes, but also be observant, see how everyone is treating each other, how these children are treating each other. And then even put it on the responsibility of the child. So you see this child who's being treated horribly, who's being bullied, you don't want to be treated that way. I'm not saying be friends with the child, but you at least need to treat that child with honor and respect, because you would want to be treated with honor and respect. You wouldn't want to be bullied. So you need to bridge the gap, and you need to be the peacemaker here and teach them what that looks like in a way that they'll understand, and in a way that will be applicable to them. But then again, there also are still just people who are just bullies because their parents are bullies. But I think that if we actually go this route, this way, and really be more intentional about just caring about each other, then we won't have to worry about this gun control and gun reform nonsense. So, I don't know, and I'm also just reminded of something else that, um, so someone who I used to go to church with, actually, it was during his senior year. Um, he and one of his friends, they heard that there was actually going to be a shooting at their school, and they ended up finding out who it was going to be. And so, and this was obviously someone who was bullied, who was teased, and they made the initiative to bridge the gap, to, love on this person and, treat them with honor and respect. And in the end, there was no shooting at the school. And so, obviously, there's a lot more to that story. I'm sure the people who were actually there could give more justice to it. But like when he told me that story, I'm just like, dude, like, why? This is what happens when we actually treat people the way they desire to be treated, where they should be treated, where they want to be treated. That peace falls, and I think that we need to get in that place where we just treat people the way we would want to be treated, and we love our neighbor as ourselves, and we understand what that looks like. So, because if we don't, then it's a good possibility that there will be a gun reform, a gun control, and our guns will be taken away from us, and our Second Amendment right will be taken away from us. Even now, I'm going into what I just mentioned before. Now, in the public school system, they teach you things, but they don't teach you everything. Like, they teach you about why, people came over to America, how they wanted freedom and liberty, but they don't tell you that it was freedom of religion that brought them here. It was freedom to worship God the way they desired to worship God that brought them here. They don't teach you about that. Also, going back to something that was more recent, but that was almost 100 years ago, with the Holocaust that happened, and that's something that we are taught about, that we go to museums and we see all these different cars, and like train cars, and we see all these different artifacts and momentums from that time period. And it's great that we know our history and where we come from, especially with the Jews, knowing their history, and also just being able to talk to people who are actually there. But they conveniently leave out the events that led up to the Holocaust and all those Jews being whisked away to Auschwitz and those other concentration camps. What they don't tell you is before all those things happened, their guns were taken from them. Their guns were taken from them. Do you understand what I am saying to you? Their guns were taken from them, and then they were taken to concentration camps. Do you not think that they're trying to repeat history? Because history somehow tends to repeat itself. And if we do not wake up and we allow these people to take away our guns and take away our Second Amendment right to bear arms and to protect ourselves when we are feeling threatened, even if it's by our own government, then we will have a 21st century Holocaust. Believe that. It will happen if we do not wise up, smarten up, and wake up. So, that's all I have for now. So, hope you're edified by this, and if you were, You can subscribe, continue to follow me. I'll be posting more frequently, as frequent as I can. So yeah, just remember to stay rooted, and God bless.